Alright guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today, I'm going to go over an article titled, "If I Can't Find a Date Because I Won't Settle, I Guess I'll Be Single Forever." And this article is about this woman who is this insanely picky dater. And I'm doing this, guys, because this is something I know so many of you guys that do date and end up picking up and hook up and relationships and all that shit are frustrated with. All these young women that have the attitude that, hey, guys are a dime a dozen, and I can just jerk them around and take advantage of them, and who cares? And I'm going to get into, and I've said it before, why this is the way it is, and basically it's guys' fault for the way women are like this today, but you're going to see through all her reasons what's going on in that crazy head of hers. And a lot of it comes down to a lot of brainwashing from movies and television about the knight in shining armor and true love, a bunch of Disney Hallmark bullshit, which we all know is bullshit. And I'm doing this, guys, because, like I said, a lot of you guys are into dating and relationships and all that, and you're frustrated. You're frustrated by the last minute cancellations from a woman that you had a date with you had it booked for a week or two, or just all sorts of bullshit that you get put through. Where does it all come from? This mindset. And where does this mindset come from? The pickiness? Guys giving them too much validation. Social media, all the compliments. Dating apps, bombarded with guys, thirsty guys after them. Guys that text them too much. Guys that want to talk on the phone with them too much. Guys that want to see them so many times a week. All that's validation, whether it's stuff that's said to them or just actions. So that's why I hammer it into you guys. You don't want to do that, because that just makes it worse. Especially for you guys, in terms of, like, say, social media, you see a hot girl, or whatever the hell it is, you don't do that. That may impact things on a broader spectrum, but for your own personal relationships, you don't want to do all this validation of this is exactly what you get, and therefore more frustration. So I'm going to go through this thing here, and you're going to see exactly what I'm talking about. Starts out saying, "Recently, I began to wonder why I had such bad luck in dating, and started to seriously consider that I was just one of those undateable people. Then I realized that it was all because of my tendency to be picky with the guys I date and my unwillingness to settle, which isn't a bad thing." Well, she's obviously in her prime, and I'm going to assume good looking, and it may not seem like a bad thing now, but wait until 10, 15 years from now when she's in her 30s or late 30s, it's going to be a different ballgame. Of course, by then, she'll be back writing the same article saying, hey, there's no dateable guys out there. There's no guys that make enough money. There's no guys that meet these things, and it's guys' fault for why I'm single. Not because I'm picky, no. That's what we're going to see. And I know this because I've done plenty of articles on it, and you guys have heard those articles. And again, at the end of the day, you can say, hey, who cares? Who cares? Let her be alone, all that. I'm doing this to show you guys the mindset that's going on today. And again, pointing out along the way what you need to do to minimize this type of behavior. Minimize it by your actions, guys. No validation. Number 2. If I had to choose between being alone or settling, I'd choose being alone. Yeah, sure. The thought of being stuck with someone I'm not totally in love with makes me way more anxious than thinking about spending the rest of my life alone. People latch onto each other way too easily because they're desperate and not to be single, and I don't get that. I feel like if you're alone, at least you'll never get bored of yourself. Well, I agree that you shouldn't just take any old person off the street. You got to have some things that are going to match up with your personality and your values and things you want in life. Sure, I get that. But it's a whole different ballgame when someone meets those things, but you won't give them the time of day because they are in the case of, say, a guy, if the guy is 5'11", but she wouldn't date anybody under 6 feet. See what I'm talking about? But some women would do that. They'd cut a guy off, even if he had met all her qualifications, but he was 1 inch shorter than what she wanted, she'd kick him to the curb. That's the times we're in. Things like that. Just stupid crap. Number 2. If you can't be picky about who you date, what can you be picky about? People who are picky about what they eat are kind of childish. But being picky about the person you sleep with and maybe even eventually marry is not fair in my book. I think I'd regret not giving my life partner, a second thought. Choosing someone you're going to be with the rest of your life is a huge decision. So excuse me for being a little bit selective about it. She's not a little bit selective about it. She's crazy picky. Again, as you're going to see here. Yeah, you shouldn't just pick anybody, like I said, anybody off the street, but you got to have things in common, and they can match certain things with your values and interests. It skips over number 3 for whatever reason in this article. Number 4, I'm okay with waiting until my perfect person arrives. I have news for you, sweetheart. There is no such thing as a perfect person. But she'll find out. She says, I've seen the rom-coms, and I've read the cutesy Instagram posts from couples who've been together for eternity. I want all of that, and I'm willing to wait for it. What that means is that I'm actually perfectly fine waiting for my knight in shining armor to arrive, because settling with the court jester is not an option. Well, nobody wants to be with a court jester, and a lot of guys out there think they got to act like a court jester, acting all goofy and silly and acting like a clown on the date to entertain the girl, when that's not the case. A guy that's funny in a cool way, that's the way to go. But this whole thing about what she observes and sees on Instagram and social media about these couples all happy, these perfect couples, I have news, and I'm sure many of you guys are aware of this. It's all an act. It's all bullshit. I know people that have shitty marriages, but on social media, they put up all the pictures and make everything look like it's all sweet and perfect. It's bullshit. So she's basing some of this on that. She's in for a rude awakening. But again, she's young, and you can see the mindset here. Number 5, it's easy to be tempted to stay with someone just because. After I've been in a relationship with someone for several months, I begin to cook up a million reasons why I should stay with them. Oh, they have a good job, or they buy me things. If I don't live by my mantra of thou shalt not settle, I would get stuck with a guy who only kinda, sorta fulfills my needs. Honestly, what's the point of being in a relationship with someone like that? Oh, sure, you don't want to be in a relationship with anybody that you just kind of like, so could take them or leave them. So, again, guys, this is why, my view, I don't do relationships. Nothing too serious. My life experience has taught me that. I don't mind. I like dating multiple women, having a good time with them, but not seeing them too much. Okay? Because I think all this stuff, which is sold in movies and TV, is a bunch of horse shit. Obviously, in my opinion, about marriage. And so, again, it's all right to be sort of selective, but this takes it to a whole new level here. Number 6, to me, the possibility of finding true love is worth the risk or never finding it. Easily said and done for a girl in her 20s with unlimited options. But come talk to me in 10, 15 years to see how she feels. She says, I'm a hardcore romantic, so yeah, I believe in true love. I believe in soulmates. I believe that there's one special person out there for everyone, and I'm okay with waiting for my special someone to come into my life. If I have to spend my whole life waiting, so be it. I'll meet them in heaven. Yeah, sure. Come talk to me again when you're in your 30s and your biological clock's going crazy, or when she starts seeing all her friends getting married and she wants to be the bride. Come talk to me then, sweetie. And true love, not a fucking chance. Doesn't exist. Number 7. I feel like part of me is being picky for my personal safety. This is such a load of bullshit, but I'm going to read it anyway. She says, I can't help think that there's some biological reason that I'm as picky as I am. If I don't sift through all the guys I date, I could end up with someone who doesn't treat me well, or worse, someone who abuses me. I feel like I'm being picky, but being picky is good for that reason alone. Sure, so if a guy, again, is 5'11", but she wants someone that's 6 feet tall, she might as well kick him to the curb because he might beat her up. Give me a fucking break here. But again, these are her justifications here. And by the way, she could probably take a look at pretty much into a crowd of guys and pick out the guys that would be abusive and be dead on. So it's nonsense. Number 8, I don't really care about the physical stuff. Now this is one little part that I actually will kind of agree with her on, that I don't think she's completely deluded or full of shit on. She says, it's not like I have a huge laundry list of all the physical features that I need in a guy. I'm actually very forgiving in that area. It's the personality I care about. At my age, guys are starting to lose their hair, so I better not be too picky about appearance. Here's the thing, guys. Don't get me wrong. Looks do matter to women, but they're not the top like they are with us, okay? At the top are obviously money, status, ambition, drive, confidence, huge thing, confidence. Confidence and charisma, personality, sense of humor. That is very true, all at the top of the list. Looks, although definitely important, are not as high as the other ones. So when a woman says like the looks obviously aren't as a big a deal, there is some truth to that. Now, I'm not saying that all women are like that. There's some women that if they don't find you physically appealing, they're not going to give you the time of day. But for a great many that I've talked to in my own observation in life, it's not like with us. For us, if we're not physically attracted to her, there's no way we're going to give her the time of day. I mean, it's just not going to happen. For us, it's at the top. For women, it's down a few notches. So there's some truth to that. I'll be fair there. Okay, number 9. Contrary to what my friends might think, I'm not taking it too far. Yeah, sure. Everyone thinks I'm being too stubborn by holding out for a hero, but I honestly feel like I'm doing the right thing here. Yeah, I'm single most of the time, but it's so much better than settling and shacking up with the guy I'm going to resent a few months or years down the road. I think she has obviously a lot of experience in this. I think she just can't hang around one guy too long. And if some people are like that, then so be it. You know, I mean, it isn't just guys that are like that. But just own up to it. Be honest about it. But come on here. Number 10. If I settle for someone I kind of like, we might break up and I'll be single again. To me, it's not worth going through the stress and heartache of a breakup just to spend a few months with someone you sort of like. I'd gladly get involved with someone I can see a future with, but it just hurts too much to let someone go for frivolous reasons for both me and him. Well, if you're going to do this thing, that happens. You're going to have breakups. That's just how it is. I have news for you. Number 11. I'm not looking for someone who checks off all the boxes. I'm looking for that elusive spark. Well, it sure sounds to me she's looking for someone that checks off all the boxes here. Come on. Says, I'm picky in the sense that I want someone who makes me feel like I'm in love. I couldn't care less about what they bring to the table. If there's the natural chemistry there, I'm game. It's just too hard. It's so hard to come for these days. Well, that's the thing. I mean, you're not going to just bond really well with somebody you just run into on the street every day. That doesn't happen, you know. But this whole idea of true love, come on, too many movies, sweetie. And also with the spark, yeah. I mean, in the beginning, you know, during the honeymoon period, there is that spark, right, for any situation, and you know everything's brand new and all that. But after a while, it goes away. That's just how it is. So if she wants all that type of thing, it might as well be short-term relationships. Have a good time for a few months, then move on. But she's not admitting that to herself. And of course, her many reasons why she's crazy picky, this all boils down to the fact that, again, she's young, obviously has a choice with guys, unlimited options. But again, in years to come when she gets older and starts seeing all her friends go off and get married and she wants her chance to walk down the aisle, all of a sudden it's going to be a different ballgame. And by then, she's going to be a lot older and then whining and complaining because all of a sudden all these guys that wanted her before, all of a sudden are either they're waking up to female nature and don't have anything to do with her, or guess what? They've become successful and they're now dating women younger than her. And she'll be whining and crying, complaining, and writing about how guys suck. So, but anyhow, guys, this is a perfect example of how things are in this day and age for you young guys. And like I said before, we all know where it comes from. All the attention, all the validation. So, guys, for those of you that do that you can't help yourself, that you can't help but liking a girl's picture on Instagram or liking it on Facebook or telling her how hot she is or bombarding her with emails in the dating apps giving her attention or texting too much or spending too much time with the ones you are dating, this is all validation. You stop doing that and I guarantee you these egos that have just blown up will start to come down. You know, again, it'll be hard with the countless amount of guys out there that don't get this They feel like they have to validate. But you do your part, help things out a little bit. So spread the word. All right, guys, that's it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. Let me know about your experience with some of these picky women. And be sure to, and be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.